Felicitations, adventurers! Welcome to Roll for Felicity, where we play serialized one-shots in a multitude of systems with assorted players. And today, the assorted player is me! Only me! Despite the little man you can see behind me. He's not playing, he's just here. Hello, everyone. Today, I'm playing a solo tabletop RPG called Princess with a Cursed Sword, which is by Anna Anthropy. Yes, Mila, hello. I feel like it's been forever since I saw you. Speaking of which, this game is pretty good preparation for me because I'm not super familiar with tarot cards. It's good preparation for me because a week from today, Mila and my friends Melanie and Sarah and I are going to be playing a game called OK Cryptid, which also uses tarot cards, although it's obviously not well, you can play it single player, we're not. Yeah, so that's going to be really fun. The infamous Piss Boy stream is what is going to be happening a week from today. Actually, about this time, too. And hello, Sky! How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Thanks for popping by and saying hello. Thank you. I will. I mean, we'll see if I enjoy it or sacrifice myself to it, I think are the two major outcomes. But I wanted to play this game just because the title of it is so, like, evocative, like Princess with a Cursed Sword, and then, oh, hello, Mom. How do you curse a real sword? A real sword? Curse a real sword. Oh, you know what else I need for this game? Which I totally forgot. Hang on. I need a coin. I'm supposed to have 2 coins, but I'm just gonna roll. I'm just gonna flip 1 coin twice. Because I have this little one. Little D2. So I'm gonna use that and just flip it twice, I think. Because it's like the aesthetics of having 1 coin and then 1 cute little D2. I didn't want to do that. And I almost never get to use this D2. Okay. Oh, move on. It's just like, you just started a stream. You want to have an ad break? For anyone who's not getting an ad right now. Okay. So I'm going to play this game, and then the game is relatively short. Oh, also, Mom, if you're still here, I was going to call you yesterday, and I forgot. So after stream, I might call you. Okay. So after I play this game, I also have D&D tomorrow, and I still have some more prep to do for that. So depending on how long it takes to play the actual game, I might do some D&D prep too, and write some eulogies, basically, is I think what I'm going to do on stream, because a bunch of the sailors on the ship that the players are on died during combat, and so I think I'm going to do some eulogies for those sailors. Still here, yeah. Well, I need to call you. But I can't call you now, obviously. Okay. So, I have on screen my notes. Oh, also, my lighting is going to be pretty bad for this stream because it's so nice out today that I didn't really want to, like, close my blinds and stuff so that I'm not so horribly backlit. So, and also you can probably hear the sounds of the outdoors, because my windows are open because it's so nice out. So, this game, let me do this actually. If you want to get it for yourself, the link is in chat. But it's a game where you play as a princess, who has a cursed sword. And the other thing I think is cool about this game is a lot of journaling games, which this one is kind of a journaling game, I would say. You write in first person, But this one you write in third person, so it's like you're telling a story about the character. So, at a princess's coming-of-age ceremony, an uninvited guest gifted her a sword, then vanished, laughing into smoke. She cannot put it down until she finds the place it came from, so she has come. Before playing, make sure you have a tarot card, which I have a little random tarot web page up that you all can't see. 2 coins from any land. I have 1 coin. I'll just do it twice. And then somewhere to record the story, which you can see. First, I have to decide who this princess is. What does her gown signify? The options are her dual heritage, her humble beginnings, her house's unchecked extravagance, her religious studies, or something else. Who do I want this princess to be? Maybe... I kind of like her house's unchecked extravagance. So maybe she's wearing, like, I'm almost picturing, like, a Princess Peach kind of dress, you know, where it's, like, very, very, like, ball gown-y, and, like, very, like, kind of prissy, but, like, probably, like, more, you know, less cartoony, I think, more realistic. So I'll write this down. Princess is wearing, I should also think of her name, right? Or does she have a name? I mean, the rules don't actually say, but I think I probably will give her a name. Princess is wearing a light pink ball gown. Maybe I should look up ball gowns so I can see. Pink ball gown for some reference images. Ooh, these aren't quite proof. Ooh, like this. I think this is actually a quinceanera dress, it looks like. Yes, it is a pink quinceanera. Oh my gosh, this is like exactly it. Okay, let me put this copy image. I can actually embed this in here. Embed link. This should work. Why is it not letting me? Okay, hang on. Oh, I think I have to actually click on it. Hang on. This is an eBay listing. Oh my gosh, come on. Copy image. Oh, wait. Copy image link. That's what I want to do. Embed link. This should work. Yes. Okay, so this is like what her dress is like, basically. It's a very like frilly ball gown kind of dress. Okay, so please stop doing that. You know what? Actually, hang on. The little sidebar thing keeps coming in on Notion, so here's what I might do. Do this, and then do this, and then do this. There we go. Okay. That way it's not coming into the screen. Okay, so a light pink ball gown. Gosh, this dress is so pretty. Imagine, so when I got married, I did like a very, like, kind of plain dress. Like, it was like knee length, because it was an outdoor wedding, so I wanted something knee length and like comfortable. But there are some times when I'm like, man, it would have been fun to have like a really extravagant wedding dress, even though I don't think I would have wanted that, because it would have been very uncomfortable, and I don't like being uncomfortable. But look how pretty. Goodness. Okay. Sure, her gown signifies her house's unchecked extravagance, I think. Because that's a very extravagant dress. Why are her feet bare? In penance, easier to leap and climb. Raised where there's no need of shoes. Highwaymen or something else. I think she has bare feet because she... I think she wanted to be able to dance because it's her birthday party, right? Coming of age ceremony. Kind of a birthday party. She didn't want to wear shoes because she wanted to be able to dance. And then whatever happened, I think she just like ran out of the party. Like she left straight from the party because she was so scared of like the sword and everything. And so her feet are still bare because of that. Have a fancy anniversary party and wear a fancy... I could do that. I mean, I would still be uncomfortable. But that's true. The other problem is, of course, that those dresses are so expensive. My wedding dress was like $50, I think. Whereas like a quinceanera dress like that is like a lot of money. Feet bare because she wanted to be able to dance. Yeah, it was actually... So the dress that I wore for my wedding was a LuLaRoe dress, actually. It was one of their... Because I wanted to have... Our wedding colors were teal and gold. And I was like, it'd be really fun to have like a gold dress. But I couldn't find what I was looking for. I kept finding dresses that were like not quite what I wanted. And actually, I think I bought 2 other dresses. Like, I kept finding rose gold, and I was like, this isn't really what I want. So I got, like, a rose gold sequin dress from Target, I think, and then returned it because I was like, that's not what I want. And then I posted about it on Facebook because I was like, this is what I'm looking for. I can't find it anywhere. I don't even know if I was I think maybe I was asking for, like, if people knew of places. And I was going to maybe try to get one from Eloquii, but they didn't really have what I wanted. And then someone that I was friends with was like, you might want to try, because LuLaRoe does, like, the holiday dresses, and a lot of times they're in, like, metallics. And she was like, there was one a couple of years, like, last year or something that sounds like what you're looking for. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'll keep that in mind. But I was like, I don't really do LuLaRoe. And then, like, a couple weeks later, she was like, my LuLaRoe person has the dress I was thinking of, like, and put me in contact. And yeah, it was like $50. If I'm remembering correctly, I think it was $50. And it was comfortable. And it was cute. I think I've showed my wedding dress on stream before. Okay. Did I put this? I want to be able to dance at her party. And you couldn't see her feet anyway. When she was given the sword, she got so scared that she immediately ran away. Yeah, it was a good dress. Ran away without shoes. I think the only thing is, like, gold is kind of a hard color to, like, capture, I feel like. And so in some of the pictures it just looks like I'm wearing a brown dress, but that's fine. What does her sword want? The options are blood, very simple, secrets, to see beauty twisted, to call forth the dead, or something else. I think what the sword wants is... This song is kind of louder than the previous one. I think what the sword wants is it's cursed. I think it's cursed. I think this is why she ran away. Because the sword is cursed to kill, like, the king. Which would be her dad. The sword wants the blood of the corrupt king, the princess's father. I think that's what the sword wants. What are her pronouns? I think I'll do she, her. And then what name do I want for the princess? Let me look up names. What are names meaning princess? Should I just do that? Just a name that means princess. Oh, Sadie. Does Sadie mean princess? I don't think it does. I think was that just the name of a princess? Was there a Princess Sadie? Yeah, sometimes when I look up name meanings, like, the first article will just be like, these names don't mean this. They're just, you know, we just like these names. But I do like Sadie. Princess Sadie is cute. It was originally a nickname for Sarah. I think Sadie is definitely short for something for this princess. Princess Shady. She, her. And that's the character setup. Chronicling the journey. As the princess explores the ruins, record her explorations. Write in third person as though writing a fairy tale. In some parts of the ruins, you may decide the princess faces an obstacle, threat, or foe. In those cases, finish the passage after facing a challenge. So that's like a little thing that I can roll on. Keep descriptions brief. What does the princess notice, feel, or remember? So I think the first thing I'll do is I kind of came up with like how she got the sword. It was the day of Princess Sadie's coming of age ceremony. I think I'll have her be like 16 for coming of age ceremony, as was the tradition for the royal family. An elaborate party was thrown for her 16th birthday. To show, maybe to like celebrate her growing responsibility. Her growing maybe like royal responsibilities. And yeah, I think that's good. As was the tradition for the royal family, an elaborate party was thrown for her 16th birthday to celebrate her growing royal responsibilities. She she wore a dress of her own design, pink, and this word isn't really flowing, but I don't want to say poofy either. Will be another pink and maybe enormous. Let's say enormous pink and decorated with floral embroidery. Florar is what I wrote. Floral embroidery. Despite her, I'll say despite the queen's no, maybe I'll say much to the annoyance of her mother, the queen. Sadie, I'll say Princess Sadie. Princess Sadie refused to wear the uncomfortable shoes and went with the dress, whining that she wanted to be able to spend the evening dancing. The queen tutted what would be the word? Disapprovingly. Approvingly, but the king indulged his daughter, saying that she should be allowed to enjoy the party. As it might be her last night free of the burdens of leadership. Okay. And then, while the rest of the country suffered under the drought with little access to the food they needed, the royal palace showed no such signs of hardship. Princess, yeah, maybe the only concession to the famine was that Princess Sadie had to settle for a cake with cherries instead. Why can't I type of peaches, as there were none to be had, even for the king. This is nice. This is nice. We're getting some drama. Okay. Should this happen in the middle of... I was thinking this happened, like, in the middle of the party, but maybe the person comes at, like, the end of the evening? And so Sadie can slip away and people, like, don't notice where she is, maybe. The party went late into the night, and Princess Sadie spent most of it dancing, occasionally with some of the visiting royalty from nearby nations. Her family and friends reveled with her, and by the end of the night, were quite intoxicated. What a nerdy way to put that. They were quite intoxicated. And maybe that's why no one noticed when what is this described as? An uninvited guest. When a woman dressed in a long white robe and hood approached the princess, pulling her away from a dance. Sadie didn't recognize her, but smiled politely, assuming this was a distant relative or perhaps a visiting, I would say VIP, but that doesn't really sound like a fairy tale. A visiting, maybe sorceress. A visiting sorceress with well wishes. Her second guess wasn't too far off, as the woman reached into her cloak and pulled out let's just make the sword obsidian, that's cool. Obsidian sword. Almost too unwieldy for dignitary. It could be dignitary. I like sorceress though. I'll say dignitary. Well, I already said her second guess wasn't too far off. Maybe I'll say, instead of distant relative, I'll say was a visiting dignitary, or perhaps a traveling sorceress with well wishes. The princess to hold upright. The woman spoke quietly into Princess Sadie's ear, saying, "Only a gift fit for your royal highness." As soon as the hilt touched Sadie's hands, she, her fingers wrapped around it, white-knuckled. Oh good, I was hoping the bird sounds would. It's so nice. It's so like nice and breezy out too. As soon as the hilt touched Sadie's hands, her fingers wrapped around it, white-knuckled. How does she know what the sword wants? She felt its dark purpose as certain as what? I don't know. What am I doing? She felt its dark purpose. Cutting like a knife. No. It's already a sword. She felt its dark purpose Dark purpose. A sword from tales whispered to her from an old nanny. The obsidian sword meant to kill the king. Princess Sadie tried to drop it, hoping it would shatter on the marble floor, but she couldn't let go. As the woman laughed at her panic, Sadie, Princess, knew she had to leave, lest the sword compel her to, I'll just say, to kill her father. I didn't put her. Compel her to kill her father. She ran out of the ballroom and out of the castle and into the night, barefoot and tripping over her enormous dress. Okay, there we go. That's the beginning. It was already cool. Did you take the pizza out? Did you cut it already? Okay, it's a to let it stand for like 5 minutes. Oh, did you get the box out of it? Oh, I put it in the recycling. We made a frozen pizza. Thanks for taking it out. Okay. So that's the setup for the game. Now I get to look at my little tarot card and generate a random thing. Okay. So I already spent a long time just writing that little intro. So I think I'm just going to have her, I'm not going to write about her finding the ruins. I'm just going to generate a card. So the first card is the Two of Swords. To explore the ruins, turn over the next card in the deck. Use the suit and card image to decide what the princess finds. Yum. Yeah, it's a deep dish frozen pizza too, which I love deep dish pizza. And I think we've had this one before. It's from Aldi, but it's not like an Aldi brand. So yes. Okay, so the image on this tarot card for the Two of Swords. Let me do this so I can still see chat. Oh, hey, perfect. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm just moving things around. Is a person with a blindfold with two giant swords, and they're holding them like this. I think this is just like the traditional tarot set. So I think all the illustrations are just like what normally tarot cards look like. So for swords, some of the suggested prompts are white stone courts, a sudden noise, shadows and ghosts, precarious heights, menacing statues, blades. Ooh, I think it's the first one would be good if maybe she immediately faces a challenge, especially because it's swords. And I already said she barely can wield this one. Sadie could hardly remember the last time she slept or ate. Since her party, she could. She she knew where she was headed. The ruins of the old castle from the I want it to be something like the other castle was from like a different royal family. The ruins of the old castle ravaged by time and the historic what do you call it when you're like not a raid, but it's like when you're trying to like take over a building, basically. All I can think of is barricade, which is the opposite of what I want. What is the word? The historic something. Siege? I guess siege is what I'm talking about. Siege on in the historic siege that led to her family's royal ascent. She remembered very little of the details from I was like, I'm not going to talk about how she gets to this ruin, but whatever. She remembered very little of the details from her history tutor, but the stories from her nanny had settled into her imagination. She remembered playing pretend as if she were a princess from this long ago castle, a tragic figure, brave but doomed. She knew the sword must have come from this castle made at the hand, or no, made created in hatred and revenge from a dying dynasty. No one visited the old castle, and it was said to be haunted, of course. Haunted. Okay. Perhaps then it was a ghost that met her as she tumbled headlong into the empty moat until the, I'll say mostly empty moat filled with, well, mostly empty and then filled with, that doesn't really make sense, into the decrepit moat, now filled only with I guess it wouldn't be that muddy because I just thought there was a drought. To the empty moat. In better times, I already said perhaps. In better times, it would be, oh yeah, here's how to say it. In better times, her fall would have been cushioned by mud, but the parched earth softened nothing. As she looked up, she saw the figure saw the shadowy figure of she saw a shadowy figure, but her attention was drawn to the figure's sword. Obsidian like her own, but less ornate. Hardly a sword, more of a jagged piece of stone. Long, jagged piece of stone. Alright, so now, because I'm facing a challenge, I get to throw my two coins, aka my 1 coin first. Oh, no, actually, 1 if she's completely out of her depth, 2 if her past has prepared her, or 2 if she gives the sword what it wants. So maybe I'm playing this wrong, because she can't really give the sword what it wants. So I'll say 1. I think she's completely out of her depth right now. And I got a 1, which I'll say is tails. I'll say the little kraken figurine is heads. So if you throw no heads, which I didn't, the princess falters and barely escapes with her life. Princess Sadie tried to bring her sword up in defense, hands numb from clutching it for so long. She couldn't even lift it, let alone in time to block the blow, block the incoming blow. She felt, as the blade cut across her arm, she felt nothing, but quickly the lacy, wait, what does the sleeve look like? It's like a little, yeah. I'm imagining it has more puff sleeves. So maybe it's like this dress, but instead of it being like cut across like this, maybe there's like puffs above where the thing is. But quickly the lacy flowers were stained with her blood. The figure loomed over her, cutting down again. Sadie felt helpless as it stood on her, on the skirt of her dress, holding her in place. She closed her eyes as she fell back into the dirt, tasting blood, clutching her sword. How does this resolve? And unlike the princess she had played pretend as, felt frightened at her impending doom, and not brave at all. When her eyes opened, she, the figure had disappeared. Is that what I want to do? I don't think that's what I want to do. I think she held her sword, unable or unwilling to use it to fight. But at the last moment, slid it down, shearing, like cutting off, I'm trying to imagine like cutting off like a layer of the dress, basically. Shearing a layer of her ball gown. And freeing her. She scrambled, not even looking back, using the sword, something like maybe stabbing into the sides of the moat clumsily to pull herself out in any way she could. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's good. Alright, next card. Six of Wands. Dark halls, groaning wood, torchlight, yawning pits, glowing sigils, eyes in the dark, a locked door, teeth, and fire. This picture is of the tarot card is of like a guy on a horse. Who has like a wreath. There's a wreath on the pole. I guess that's the wand that he's holding. But it's like a staff, you know. Okay, so what do I want to do? I think dark halls make sense. Her dirty feet slapped against the frigid floor of the ruined castle. The drawbridge having been destroyed hundreds of years ago. Princess Sadie could see very little as she ran deeper into the castle. The castle probably can't be made of obsidian, right? You can't make a building out of obsidian. I'm looking it up. Oops, I can't write. Oh, well, of course I Google building made of obsidian, and all the top results are Minecraft, so that makes sense. I don't think, like, obsidian is not, like, it's like glass, so it would be, it's actually not, it doesn't make sense to, actually make a sword out of it. Obviously, the sword is magic, but it is, like, extremely sharp, which is why I thought it would be a good sword. That's true. I don't wanna rely too much on, I don't wanna, it's like, oh, the sword is obsidian, the castle's obsidian, you know what I mean? Of types of stone. Types of stone brick. Again, I don't know if Google is just catering to me or if this is just what it's like, but when I Googled types of stone brick, again, the top results are Minecraft. The witch in the woods built her house out of candy. That's true. Yeah, all of the results are Minecraft. Here we go. Different types of brick walls. This is actual masonry. Okay, so... Ooh! There is pebble stone walls. Look pretty cool. That'd be kind of cool if it's made out of, like, pebble stone. In, like, maybe different colors. The uneven pebble stone walls. Did I write that right? Pebblestone. Oh, probably space. The uneven pebblestone walls. So different from the smooth masonry of her home. Yawning pits, that's a cool one. Maybe a locked door. She could feel the sword pulling her away from the castle, urging her to return home and fulfill her destiny. But Sadie trudged onward out of breath knowing that if she could find the old throne room where the old throne room, the final battleground from the siege, she would be able to break this curse and return to her normal life. Yeah, this, the music, the playlist that I have for this is all Kevin MacLeod, I think. And actually some of it is inspired by Minecraft. So maybe this is Minecraft lore. Like one of the songs is called Netherworld Shanty, and one is called Spider Eyes, which maybe it's not Minecraft, but I think it is. I think this whole album is Minecraft inspired, but I might be wrong. And return to her normal life. She slung the sword laboriously up in front of her. Whispering to herself that she must be ready for another attack at any moment. Okay, I think that's good. Oh yeah, maybe I said I wanted a locked door. So maybe, she moved quietly. The only sound in the castle was her rustling dress, now dirty. Now stained with dirt and her own blood, torn. Do I even need to say torn? Stained with her own blood. She knew the throne room must be somewhere near the center of the castle, as it was the last place her ancestors breached in their assault. She found, oh yeah, maybe something like, if it weren't for the crumbling, sometimes non-existent ruined ceiling far above, she would have quickly gotten lost in the darkness. But eventually she found the eventually a beam of sunlight illuminated the, I'll say their doors are crystal, the milky crystal doors that had to lead to the throne room. She rushed to them, but found them locked. Okay, let's see what the next card is. 9 of wands. Okay, so we've got wands again. Okay, glowing sigils. She pulled frantically. Certain that her goal was just within reach, and as she pulled, the door lit with otherworldly sigils. Glowing. I'm imagining it's like almost like a black light, or like I'm imagining like this idea of like a light that's like glowing, that's like burning your eyes, but it's not because it's bright, it's because it's so dark. Does that make sense? So it's like when you look at something too bright and you close your eyes and you can still see it. I don't know how to word that though. Images. What is that called? Like an after image? Yes, an after image is the image that continues to appear in the eyes after a period of exposure. Okay, so there's actually, you know what? What I'm thinking of is colors that don't exist. An impossible color. Is this what it is? An impossible color are colors that do not appear in ordinary visual functioning. Oh, there's one that's called like something blue. Oh, chimerical colors. I think this is it. Yes. Stygian blue. Is that how you say it? Not light blindness. I think. Okay. I'm looking for. I think I can pull this up. Oh, I just opened the same thing again. So there are colors that are like not real, basically. I wonder if people can do it on stream. In theory, if I put this up, you should be able to see it. Let me see. This is what I'm imagining. I don't know if I'm pronouncing Stygian correctly. Okay, so I have these things on screen. So if you stare at the image on the left-hand side, which says the fatigue template, I might have to make this bigger for it to work. if you stare at that for like how long? 20 to 60 seconds, and then look at the neutral target. So the first one is black, the second one is white, and then the third one is orange. It will make a color that like doesn't really exist. Does that make sense? So let's, oh, let me do that. So let me try this right now. So I think the one that I want is basically the Stygian blue. I don't know if I'm saying, it might be Stygian. I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, so you stare at the X. Let me set a timer. It's so cool that these colors have names. Okay, let's see. Let's do 30 seconds. Or let's do a minute. Let's do a minute. Okay, so if you stare at the X for 1 minute, and then look at the black screen. I just looked away because I was looking to see if my timer was going. Then you should be able to see a color that doesn't really exist because it's the after image that you're actually looking at. Like your eye gets fatigued and like basically makes up something. Imagine someone coming into stream right now and I'm just like staring at my screen like this. I can already tell that it's working because I can see around the edges of it when I'm like my eyes are shifting. Okay, there's probably only a few seconds left. Come on, timer. I'm doing 60 seconds, so it's like really strong. How much longer do I have? There we go. Okay, and then look at the black X. And you can see the color. Which is like a deep... And then it has the, like, the whatever, the approximate rendering on the other side, which is pretty close. But that Stygian blue is what I'm imagining. Oh, my husband bring me pizza. Thank you. This is my pizza. So that's the answer, is I'll just say Stygian blue. I'm gonna have one bite of pizza. And now this is mukbang. Okay. That was a fun little science experiment. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay. So, and as she pulled the door, oh, I didn't even put it. I just said lit. Worldly color. A blue that was illuminated but also dark. Well, that was illuminated but also, what would be the word? Not like pitch black. Illuminated but also pulled in the surrounding light. Stygian blue. This pizza's good. pushing herself back from the door, sword clattering against the ground. When she found the courage to open her eyes, she looked still dazed. She looked around in confusion, still dazed, but in a new part of the castle. She pulled her knees in close. Sword awkwardly imagining, so she pulls her knees up and but she can't let go of the sword, so it's like the sword's hilt. Hello, Sierra, thank you for the lurk. I hope you're having a good evening. The sword hilt awkwardly pressing into her shin, basically, and cried. Alright, let's see where she is now. Let's pull another random tarot card. The Hermit, which is Major Arcana, right? A shrine in disrepair, ancient rites, an altar, a sacrifice, a tomb, hollow voices, or the attention of the gods. And the Hermit is like an old man holding a lantern. I think, while I'm thinking about this, I'm going to really quick go to a break screen and eat my pizza. And then, because I've already been playing this for over an hour. It's crazy. So I'm going to eat my pizza so you don't have to hear my mouth sounds and so that I'm not hungry. And then I'll finish up this game. I'm probably only going to do like maybe a couple more pulls. And then returning the sword, which is whenever you reveal a card, which I haven't been doing. Whenever you reveal a card, ask, is this where the sword belongs? If so, decide. The princess makes a sacrifice. What is it? To break the curse. Or the sword promises her something. What is it? And she keeps it. Compose a brief epilogue. Who does the princess become after her journey? Okay, so I'm gonna go to my break screen, and then I'll be back in a little bit, full of pizza. Bye. I'm back with the second half of Princess with a Cursed Sword. I ate my pizza, and I have my sparkling water, which all the ice melted, and a treat, which is a little thing. Oh, you probably can't really see what's in it. We got some crunchy cookie M&Ms from Aldi, which I was like, ooh, that sounds good. And they actually are good. So I don't say this in a demeaning way, but it is just Rice Krispies in the center. Which makes sense. I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but they're really good. So I'm going to have a little treat as I continue. Okay. So last thing that happened is we pulled Major Arcana, which is the Hermit. I think I want to face a challenge again for this one. Because I think what this is I think this is a tomb. So after Sadie finishes crying, after the sobs abated, Sadie took a deep breath and looked around the room. She could see no immediate way out. the air filling her lungs felt stale. The room smelled musty, but which this is because the hermit is like holding like a lantern, I'm imagining, but the wall, but the inexplicable lanterns on the wall illuminated the shrouded remains of the previous royal family. Okay, so I'm gonna face a challenge because I think this is like a locked in, like there's no way out of here. Either when it was built, it was like bricked in, or because there's been collapses or something because it's a ruins that X has been sealed off. So I'm going to face a challenge, but I'm going to have her give the sword what it wants, which is princess after I think maybe she's in here for like a long time. After searching the tomb, pulling stones and bricks from the rubble, and even scratching at the dirt floor in an attempt to tunnel Princess Sadie's energy flagged. She had no way of knowing how long she'd been trapped here, but she felt it had to have been days. She felt the air growing thinner, and her mouth was dry and dusty. She looked at the sword, which thirsted for royal blood, and gave it what it wanted. So I'm going to flip 2 coins. The first one's tails. Second one heads. Okay. So just one head, she achieves her goal, but is tenuous or costly. What could the cost be? Also, my glasses, I feel like I clean my glasses constantly, and yet they are constantly just filthy. How is it that my glasses are always dirty? Okay, so what could the tenuous or costly? What could the cost be? Because she doesn't really have anything is the problem. And, like, nothing, obviously, like, nothing can really hurt the sword. Because that's kind of what she wants. I mean, it could just be tenuous. dirty sword. Yeah, it's like my glasses are always dirt. Like, I'll be like, why can't I see? And then I take off my glasses and it's like there's just crud all over them. And I'm like, what am I doing that my glasses are like so dirty? Twisted in her hand, burying itself in the wall between two pieces of stone. What is the stuff in between? What is the stuff? Grout? No, it's not grout. Cement. What is the stuff in between bricks called? Google. Mortar. Of course. The mortar crumbled and revealed a secret passageway. Sadie. Here's what I think it is. Sadie feeling mortar, yeah. Feeling the fresh air rushing in through. Rushing in and Mordor. The Mordor between the bricks. Feeling the fresh air rushing in and feeling the fresh air, I'll just say on her face, Sadie was reinvigorated and began pulling the bricks away piece by piece, using the sword to pry them out. She looked at the palms of her hand, now calloused and sore. She quickly realized that the tattered remains of her ball gown were too stiff and I'll say too big and stiff. Too big and stiff to fit through, and quickly shrugged it off, leaving her in a simple, what are those called? The dress that's like under a dress? Shift? Is that what it's called? A shift dress? I think it's called a shift. Leaving her in a simple shift. Yeah, so that's really the only thing she can lose, really, is her dress. So she loses her gown. Okay, I think that's that prompt. Let's generate a new one. Temperance is another major arcana. Is there minor arcana? Lesser arcana. Oh, the suit cards. That makes sense. Makes sense that the suit cards are lesser arcana. Okay. Okay, so Temperance is like an angel in this one. It's like an angel. It looks like it has one of those doctor things on its head. Is that what it has? I'm looking this up. Temperance Arcana card. The thing that I'm using, it's too small to see. But it has like a little disc. It has a bit of a disc. What is that, I wonder? It has like a... I don't think it is supposed to be a doctor thingy, but I wonder what it is. Anyway, it's like an angel pouring like water from one cup to another. So could be a shrine in disrepair, ancient rites, an altar, a sacrifice, a tomb, hollow voices, the attention of the gods. I feel like this is maybe the... I think this is where the sword belongs, actually. Should it be, or should I keep going? I feel like this is where the sword belongs. I don't know. Seeing an angel, it's just like, okay. So I think Princess Sadie climbed the staircase from the tomb she'd been trapped in for days, gulping in the fresh air thirstily, emerged into, I think this is the throne room, into the throne room, but instead of finding a hall, a gaudy hall trimmed in gold and precious gems with an ornate throne at the head of it, like her father's throne room. She was in the room was small and held a shrine, a basin filled with water. The water looked fresh and inviting, and Sadie stooped to drink from it. But the basin was made of the same crystal as the door, but but as she peered into it, the maybe I shouldn't say a basin filled with water, the bowl of the basin was made of obsidian, showing a dark reflection of herself. But not herself. Looking into the basin, Sadie recognized the shadowy figure who had confronted her in the what was it? The moat. Now that the figure was of a similar build, now that both the figure was of a similar build, and now that Sadie had left behind her ball gown, she recognized they both wore the same simple shift undergarment. She lost herself in the reflection. This music needs to be. This is too silly. Here we go. She lost herself in the reflection, able to see more of it than made sense. I'm imagining, like, with holograms, like the actual thing where it's like the, those kind of rainbowy things where it's like you shift them and it's like it looks 3D. The way that those are made, you can sometimes, if it's a really clear one, you can sometimes look into it and see like a more of a perspective, if that makes sense. So like, let's say that someone made a hologram of like this little dish and I have my glass next to it and the hologram is from above. Sometimes if you like lean back and look at it this way, you can actually see things that are outside of what was intended to be captured. So it like looks like you're looking into something. And that's what I'm imagining, that she's like looking to the side and like seeing more of like this reflection than she should be able to. Made sense if it were truly only a reflection. Her mirror held the obsidian sword. I think I'm gonna say shard. The obsidian shard confidently, dangerously, bravely, Sadie envied her. She compared the shape of her sword to the sword in the basin. And then stabbed it into the obsidian mirror. Mirror and sword both splintered, leaving her sword in the same condition as her reflections was. The sword promised to make her strong, to make her like the princess of old. Sadie dove into the basin through the shattered bowl and became one with her reflection. The room was empty and quiet. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing to happen. In the history books, the missing Princess Sadie would be merely a footnote, a strange, unsolved mystery. But vastly overshadowed by the fall of her royal family and the rise of a revolution led by a strange young woman with an obsidian shard as a weapon. And that's it. That's the brief epilogue. That was fun. I'm always worried when I play single player tabletop games that I'm like not gonna think of anything interesting. And this one, like, the prompts are kind of vague, which is cool. But I was kind of worried when I was looking at it, and I was like, am I gonna be able to do anything interesting? But this was fun. Cool, and we got to talk about chimerical colors, which is nice. Okay, so at this point, let's see. I'm not going to wrap up stream. I actually think I'm going to work on D&D prep for my home game, but this is where the YouTube VOD will end because I'm not going to put my prep on the thing. So I'm going to do a transition for the sake of YouTube, for the sake of my editing being easier. So, goodbye YouTube. I hope you enjoyed the show. Okay, so that transition was just for YouTube. All right, so let me go back again. Okay. So if you're in my home game of D&D, you gotta butt out of here. And let me change my title. Home game D&D prep. And I'm gonna change this to D&D. And I'm going to add this. And then I'm also going to change my music to my writing music, which is just video game lo-fi, because that helps me stay focused. A bit of a vibe shift. Okay, anything else I need to do? Oh yeah, let me go to Moobot. And turn off a couple of... okay, I'm not going to. Moobot's gonna say things that aren't true, but that's okay. Okay, so let me go to my Cultbusters thingy. And Cultbusters people, you gotta stay out. If you're here, I love ya, but you gotta go. and also let me see. Yeah, Mike is playing Elden Ring, so that's fine. Okay, so the main thing I want to do is I messed with this a little bit. I wrote like a little description of like how we're gonna start next session. I wrote like how the combat's gonna work. I made some tweaks. So one thing I need to do is I changed before I had the second round of like combat was gonna be that sailors fall off the ship, but let me do this. So the first round is a giant wave, which is similar to something they already had when they were in regular combat. A large solar wave is headed your way. Make a DC 15 strength athletics check. I'm just gonna say athletics because it kind of is always confusing to me when I see strength athletics in D&D stuff, because it's like people don't usually say that. And I feel like the only reason why it's in the game is because technically with D&D, you can make, so let's say you're proficient with intimidation, and but you're not primarily a charisma-based character, you're a strength-based character. You can technically make a strength-based intimidation roll. So you would add your proficiency bonus and your strength score instead of your proficiency bonus and your charisma score, which is the default. But I feel like it's such a little used rule. Like, people usually don't do that. But everything in the books is always like perception is like wisdom, and then in parentheses perception. And it always throws me because I'm always like, oh, wisdom. And then I'm like, oh no, it's perception. Anyway, well, that's my little tangent. If it was a more used rule, like if more people did it, I guess. But I also feel like it's kind of confusing. Like, I get the reasoning behind it because there's some circumstances where it's like, you know, like I feel like a lot of times barbarians are like frustrated that they aren't usually very good at intimidation, even though they're intimidating. And so it's like, well, do a strength-based intimidation roll. But anyway. Okay, make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw to avoid falling off the ship and taking 3d6 falling damage as you fall into the water. Creatures in the water are also in danger of being sucked through the whirlpool. Roll 1d4 to see how many sailors are swept overboard. Players will have one turn to pull them out of the water, or they'll be pulled into the whirlpool. Okay, second round. I need to come up with something. Third round, environmental hazard, coral reef. A coral reef lies in your path. Oh, yeah, that's right. A coral reef lies in your path. The ship must make a DC 15 dexterity saving throw. On a failure, the hull takes 8d6 damage. On a failure of 5 or more, the ship takes 16d6. On a success, the ship misses the coral reef. Also on a failure, roll 1d4. I'll just copy this. Roll 1d4 to see how many sailors are swept overboard. On a failure of 5 or more, roll 2d6 or 2d4. Cool. Sailors who fall into the water are unconscious. Because they only have like 4 hit points, so they literally can't. If it's 3d6, if you rolled 3 ones, I guess they could technically still be conscious. But I'm just gonna say sailors who fall into the water are unconscious. So that'll make it more interesting. Okay, sailors who fall in the water are unconscious. Unless they've been buffed. Because there are actually a couple that Alex gave extra temporary hit points. So those ones I guess I'll just roll 3d6 and see if they're still alive. Okay. So the things I need to do is I need to come up with a second round environmental hazard. And then I also need to write eulogies. Or a eulogy, I guess, for the dead crew, which I have up here. Let's... sailing hazards. I could just Google sailing hazards and, you know, regular life. Oh, you know what would be cool? I just came up with a good idea. Second round. Lightning strikes the ship. Lightning strikes the mast. The mast takes how much is call lightning? How much damage is that? Oops, I just opened the wrong thing. Quit. Call lightning 5e. There's two different lightning ones, I think. Call lightning, and then there's also like lightning bolt or something. Lightning bolt is the other one. Okay. So call lightning. I think the main difference is call lightning is concentration and you can do it multiple times, whereas lightning bolt does more damage, but it's just a one-time thing. Okay, so lightning bolt is 8d6. That's more than I want, I think. Call lightning is 3d10. So I think I'll do that, 3d10. The mass takes 3d10 damage. Lightning damage and is on fire. On each turn, the fire does 1d6 damage. Unless it is put out. I'm only having it 1d6 damage because it's raining. So, you know. And spreads to another part of the ship. Okay, that's cool. Roll 1d4 to see if any, to see how many sailors are killed by the lightning strike. Are there signs before? I feel like there's no signs before lightning strikes. Because you can roll, some of these things it's like, oh, roll a perception check. Signs that, oh, but there is because the hair stands up on the back of your neck. Tall, white. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is cool, actually. This is actually really cool. You see tall, bright white clouds. You can hear the thunder approaching. Okay, that's not like that cool. You see your hair standing on end or feel tingling. You taste something metallic. You smell the ozone in the air. You start to get dizzy or sweat. You can hear vibrating, buzzing, or crackling. That's like, that's cool. I mean, it's not cool, but if you're playing D&D and your DM starts describing those things, that is kind of cool. Okay, so I'm going to, okay, for this one, I'm going to prompt players to make a free perception deception check. The other ones, I'm not going to do this, but this one, because they would all feel these things, that's a little different than, like, being on the lookout for, like, a coral reef or a wave or something like that. On a DC, I'll say 15, read the following. And I'll put this in italics. Oh, I put away the things. Okay. What would be the first thing you would see? You feel the hairs on the back of your neck begin to stand on end. And as you look around at the other crew members bustling, the other crew members rushing around the deck to patch the ship up, you see their hair is also standing at attention. A metallic taste fills your mouth and you smell ozone in the air. You can use your reaction to do something before the lightning strikes. Cool. That's pretty cool. I'm always jealous when I watch, like, other people DM, and, like, I feel like when I want something to be cool, I always have to write it in advance and read it, because I feel like I stumble over my words so much. Like, when I'm trying to describe something, it doesn't come across as cool. It comes across as, like, I'm making something up, even if I know in advance. Even if I know in advance what the thing is. Like, I'm always jealous. Or, like, players who will, like, do some kind of, like, speech or something in character that's just extemporaneous. I'm always like, I wish I could do that. Okay, you feel the hairs on the back of your neck begin to stand on end, and as you look around, the other crew members rushing around the deck to patch the ship up, you see their hair is also standing at attention. A metallic taste fills your mouth, and you smell ozone in the air. You can use your reaction to do something before the lightning strikes. If players use their reaction, okay, so, like, let's say if at least one player uses their reaction to warn the crew can make a morale check to evade the lightning. DC 15. Everything's just a 15. That's kind of the easiest way to do it. Okay, DC 15. If players do more to help, the check could be made with advantage, or players could save the crew. Depending on their actions. Okay, that's cool. That's way better. That's way stronger than what I first had of just people being pulled overboard. Lightning is really scary. I think, like, you have to do stuff in D&D where it's like, this is scary and, like, tense. Okay. I mean, really, if I want to be very cool, I should write little descriptions of the other ones too, but I shan't. Okay. Oh, also, did I even say that this was the crew member? Let me see. Where are the crew? There's one crew member who went down to get the player's hippogriffs. I'll say... Oh, who was it? Was it Oscar Fowl? I think it was Oscar Fowl. Okay. Oscar Fowl has brought up the hippogriffs. Has brought the hippogriffs onto the deck of the ship. Okay. Eulogies. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe I should put this so I don't have to keep scrolling around. Maybe I'll do it up here. Dead crew / eulogy. Okay. Lasana was a friendly and outgoing young woman, always quick with a joke and the first one to laugh. Boris servility. Let me see. What are the other crewmates? I have to keep going back and forth. I think one of them owed one of these. Let's say Bamuel Selamy owed Boris servility money. Bamuel Selamy steps forward, hat, wringing his hat in his hands. He says, Boris was the only one on board who was willing to lend me some gold when I lost too much at the tables and needed food for my family. He charged me 25% interest, but it's the thought that counts. And he didn't know it, but he was never going to collect anyway, it turns out. I wish I would have kept track of how these people died, because I don't remember. And I actually, unfortunately, think I forgot to record this session. Keanu Reeves. Keanu was half shark, half man. Top half shark. With a mop of messy brown hair. That's so funny. He didn't speak much. I'm gonna put this in quotes because this is part of the... He didn't speak much, but he was a friend to all. Lawrence Fishburne, of course, is a mer person. Good old Lawrence. Always wanted to lend a hand, even though there was only so much he could do, since being a merman, he was always rolling around on deck in that big glass ball. Hopefully his people don't take us returning him to the sea as a threat. Okay, Bonnie and Moss. Obviously, let me see who's... Bonnie and Moss definitely had to have been dating someone else. Oh, Bonnie and Moss was definitely dating Susie Violent Parrot. Okay, Susie Violent Parrot. Kenku. Kenku. But let's say like a more parody Kenku. Kenku steps forward to deliver the eulogy, which is just the sound of the moments Bonnie and Moss died, followed by the sound of a sobbing woman. And then one of the other crewmates will have to explain. Ballery Bones. Ballery Bones, a skeleton man, leans over and explains that Susie was Bonnie Ann's girlfriend. Jazz Bramble, who I think was I think Jazz Bramble was a what are the cat people called? What are they called? Cat people D&D. What are they called? Tabaxi. A ginger Tabaxi. Oh my gosh, you know what I should really do? Yeah, Tabaxi. Okay, I know how to do this, but I mean, it is, all words are made up, but that one is a little bit more made up than most. Here's what I should do for Jazz Bramble. I'll probably do this off stream, because I'll have to, look so much stuff up. If I have time before tomorrow, what I should do is write a Cats the Musical style poem about Jazz Bramble that someone delivers. Which would be Jazz Bramble, the sailor cat. Write a Cats the Musical style poem about Jazz Bramble the sailor cat. Okay, that's taken care of. Yeah, that'll be, I mean, Zaya's one of my players, so they'll love that. And also they can't all, by the way, if you like these names, I think all of them, I'm pretty sure all of them Zay came up with. There are a couple who aren't on this list because they're still alive. And that weren't come up, that Zay didn't come up with, that other people did, but I'm pretty sure they came up with all these. Snailer Atlas is a big snail. Or Snailer Atlatus is the character's name. Snailer Atlatus. I'm running out of funny or sad. I want these eulogies to be either funny or sad, because I want the players to feel bad, but I also want it to be funny. Snailer Atlatus. What would be funny? Maybe Snailer Atlatus should be really sad because they're just a giant snail, so it's like okay, so one of the other sailors should maybe Doopy. Doopy? Is that how it's spelled? D-U-E-P. Yeah, I spelled it right. Doopy has 2 hit points. Okay, so Doopy. Another snail folk, which is not something in D&D, slowly glides forward. Their eye stalks moist with tears. Snailer was like a father to me. I never knew my parents, but as soon as I joined this crew, Snailer showed me the ropes and defended me from anyone who said that a snail folk... I was like, why does it say spelled wrong? It's because snail folk's not a word. That a snail folk is any less of a sailor than anyone else. He saved my life the first time we fought these pirates. Even though even ended up with a big crack in his shell. I think that crack. Oh yeah, and then I think, as you all look at Snailer Atlatus's body, you see an arrow sticking out of a big crack in his shell, and Doopy collapses into tears and is pulled away. That's like kind of funny and sad, I think, which is what I'm looking for. Alan Charlene. There's a pause as everyone considers what to say about Alan Charlene, who was swept overboard. Finally, someone says he died doing what he loved, fighting. Everyone nods. I think it's funnier if I say stabbing people. Stabbing people. That's funnier. He died doing what he loved, stabbing people. Everyone nods. I don't even know what Cielor Rolias? Wait. Sailor roll. What is this word? I think it's backwards. But what is this backwards? Is that a word backwards? No. Roll Lake is not. But Rolias is sailor backwards, right? Roll Lake? Rollace? But this is, yeah, sailor. Is this a joke that I don't get? Roll. Okay. Is it a scramble? Oracle? Sailor Oracle? Is that what this is supposed to be? I don't know. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I didn't come up with this name. Alright, what's funny about this? I'm running out of ideas. Oh, here's a good one. As soon as Doctopus is given his burial at sea, you could swear that you saw. Do octopuses ink, or is it squids that ink? Octopus ink. Sure. You could swear that you saw a jet of ink and a swift movement from the trench coat. So maybe I think Octopus faked his death. Okay, so that just leaves 3. Sailor Rolias, Jean Lafitte, and Inko Rinko. Let's see, who could they be related to? We've got a someone dating. We've got someone who's maybe we just need a best friend. Hello, Tokyo Zeno. How are you? How's your D&D going? I'm working on D&D stuff now. But how's it going? I'm writing eulogies for the crew of the ship that my players were on who died during combat. So, you know, but I'm trying to keep it funny. Samurai Chick is going great, but I'm making a new character. Ooh, tell me about your new character. You always have such fun character ideas. Okay. For some reason, Sealer Rule, yes, it's just like I'm not getting anything from them. Oathbreaker Paladin, that's fun. Paladins are fun. I've never played an Oathbreaker Paladin. Okay, Jean Lafitte. A human dressed all in blood stained. Don't know, I'm doing a lot of blood talk today. I don't know why. A mix of paladin necromancy. Main weapon is going to be a scythe. That's cool. Split personality. Main weapon is a scythe is very cool. It makes me think of I've been playing a lot of Hades recently because I got through the main story, but there's still like stuff that I need to unlock, and literally one character that I need to get max affinity with, which is Hypnos, and he has to, like, every time you come back there's a chance that he'll be like talking to someone, which advances his story, but it like is so rare. Like, I've played like 10 times, like 10 run-throughs, and I think 2 have been ones where I came back and he advanced the story. Yeah. His fake personality is he's a very charming bartender. In reality, he's a psychopath. Oh my gosh. That's kind of scary. Hypnos is hard to max. Yeah, it's literally the last one. I was getting so frustrated because I was, Poseidon's is also, like, kind of, like, random. I mean, all of them are kind of random, but, like, Poseidon's, it's, like, he might say something to you about... I think part of the problem, too, is that while I've been trying to get all these max affinities, I also, like, finished, like, there's, like, another part of the story, basically, so I did that, and so all the gods were, like, talking to me about that. I'm trying not to do spoilers in case anybody hasn't done that part. Hot man psychopath. He charms or attracts people, and in turn he kills them. That's crazy. So I'm assuming you're playing, it's, like, an evil character, it sounds like. I actually have played an evil character. I'm playing a bard right now who I would say is lawful evil. But he doesn't just, like, kill people. It's basically, like, he just wants more power. So he's, like, doing things to get more power. Aren't they usually hot? Yeah, if you want to be a successful psychopath, I think you have to be hot, because if you have such an unpleasant personality and you're not hot, no one will put up with you. But if you're hot, then people put up with a little bit more, unfortunately. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so Poseidon's is like, you have to catch a certain number of fish, and then randomly he'll be like, great job catching all these fish. And I had hit the number, like, a long time ago, but I just wasn't getting it. So I was getting really frustrated with Poseidon's, but I got Poseidon's, but Hypnos is just taking forever. It's hard to main the facade for an extended period, too. That's true. I know, I think, I don't want to pull it up. I think there's only 2 fish that I've never caught, but there's, like, 2 or 3 fish that I've caught, but I haven't finished their, like, journal entry yet. So there's that. I think the only things I need to do are max affinity with Hypnos. There's, like, 5 fish that I need to finish their journal or their entries. Or I think it is journal, because it's, what's his name? Achilles' journal. And then I need to go into, what is it called? Erebus? A few more times to finish that one. And then there's a bunch of, like, the stuff that you buy with gems and stuff. Like, there's, like, 30-something things that I need to do, because it takes so long to get the gems. I don't know how to get them. The fishing is, like, the fishing in Hades is, like, kind of easier than in other games, but it's also kind of harder because it's so different. I went 100%, but it's hard. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get 100%. A little later game, I can summon a corrupt celestial. There's a lot of stuff I have with this character. That's cool. I mean, being able to summon a corrupt celestial is cool. I'm playing a druid in one of my campaigns, and like there's a lot of like summoning spells for druids, which summoning spells are cool, but when you're in combat it's kind of annoying because you like forget about the summon, or your turn is really long because it's like, I do this and then my summons do like this and this and this, and it's, I almost never stock summon spells for that reason, because they're just, I don't know, I just end up forgetting about them. Corrupt Celestial is very cool. But I should do summons because I'm playing a Circle of the Moon druid, which means that, like, I'm pretty much always in combat. I'm gonna be in wild shape at least, usually for all of combat, but, like, at least for the first part because it buffs your AC and everything. So it makes sense to have summons, because then if I'm in wild shape, I can maintain concentration on the summon, and then my turn can be a little bit more than just, because like when you're in wild shape, the attacks are pretty basic. It's usually like a bite and a claw attack or something. I multi-class like druid, and now I'm like, but I want the druid perks. Yeah, druids are so, like, I am having so much fun playing my druid, and they're like so powerful because, like, I think one time I've had single digits for HP, because if you wild shape, especially with Moon Druid, because you can wild shape into higher challenge rating things, like, you wild shape into, like, a bear, which is only challenge rating, like, 2, I think, and you have, like, 50-something hit points, plus your regular, so I usually have, like, at the start of combat, I usually basically have 100-something hit points. The only downside is you can't cast, but, ooh, Periton, that's cool. My cousin made a druid that just gets high. I feel like that's the classic druid move, is that your character is just, like, high. I play too many druids, I banned myself from playing them again. Do you have a circle that you prefer? Expansion thing that's Persona Druid. Yeah, in Dimension 20, one of the live shows, Griffin McElroy played, like, a druid stoner. Who is a Firbolg, I think. Which Firbolg druid, I mean, like, I feel like my druid it's a, like, urban fantasy game, so she's not actually Firbolg, but she uses Firbolg stats. Yeah, it was a good show. I really liked Griffin as a guest. That's my next character. That's cool. When are you, is it a new campaign that you're joining? That you're using that character for? Or is it, like, one of those things where you're just like, I'm in the mood to make a character? I only have 3 more of these frickin' things to do, and I don't... Oh, I did start with this. A human dressed all in blood-stained denim. Like, Moon is fun, because, like, with Druid, it's, like, you want to have a good wild shape, because that's, like, one of the main things. Circle of land or forest. A little bit of both. It's a character just... Oh, okay, so this is your backup character. That's cool. What level is your samurai? Or I'm joining in another one. That's always, like, right now I'm, like, low-key kind of in too many games. But I don't want to drop any of them. So, but especially with streaming and stuff, it's like, I really am spending a lot of time playing tabletop games. We haven't played too much, but level 5. Level 5's fun. Forest Gnome Druid with Ranger subclass. That's so cute. Oh, sorry, level 3. That's nice. It's for the... I figured it was for Thorn, because I think I already knew that you were playing a... Did I know you were playing a Forest Gnome? I think I knew you were playing a Druid. Oh, I don't know if I ever heard about how your Snake Barbarian, how did that go? I know you finished the 3-shot, but I don't think I heard about how it ended. I saw Ethan posted, like, a recap, but, like, I didn't really or not a recap, but, like, an epilogue, but I didn't really read it, because I was like, I don't know. I don't know what any of these characters are. With a, of course he has to have a blonde mullet. Let's I think multiple people have to be held back from jumping overboard. Mag's Caldera, Olive the Swole, and Jim Silverblossom. Max Caldera, Olive the Swole, and Jim Silverblossom all have to be held back from diving over the edge of the ship after him because he had so much sexual magnetism and they can't imagine life without him. Perfect. We end up winning, but I was making saving throws. Ooh, like death saving throws, I'm assuming. Chris's character had to drag me through healing light. Oh my gosh. That's like when in the Crown of Candy game that we played. I don't think anybody went down, but we got into combat like over our heads and I had to teleport with Lexi's character out of combat. Otherwise we probably would have both gone down. And one person's character had, I think, 3 hit points when he got out of it. Okay. I don't know. Sealer Rolias is not... I'm not getting anything from Sealer Rolias. Yeah, that one we managed to survive. We actually survived and then kind of turned it to our advantage that we'd been attacked, basically. But yeah, I 100% thought that someone was gonna die in that combat. Which makes sense, because it's Crown of Candy, which, Mila, did you finish Crown of Candy? I can't remember. But Crown of Candy is, like, intense anyway. Okay, let's see. Inko Rinko. Who is Inko Rinko? We already have, one octopus/squid. Let's say Inko Rinko was another musician. Okay, so what was... Oh, shoot, there was another musician on the ship. Van River. Van River gives a moving... how about, like, performs an original song about Inko Rinko because Inko always used to dance to Van's music. The song is fine. You did, okay. I only have Pirates, Mice, and Murder and Sleeping City Season 2. Unsleeping City Season 2 and Pirates of the Leviathan are both... Actually, all of those that you mentioned are good. I think Mice and Murder suffers the least from being online. Pirates of Leviathan, unfortunately, some of the players didn't have, like, a very good, like, internet connection or something, because, like, sometimes it's, like, kind of laggy and... like, you know, which is unfortunate because the players are all great and the story is very fun. And Unsleeping City Season 2 had some of that. Yeah, like, it's still really good. But, like, you can just tell that, like, you know, they were still adjusting to doing remote stuff. Weirdly, I feel like more than Season 2 of Sophomore Year. Like, I feel like Season 2 of Sophomore Year was, like, didn't seem as buggy, but maybe that's just because, you know what, actually, the thing that I find distracting for Unsleeping City Season 2 and for Pirates of the Leviathan is people did, like, a fake green screen, you know? And sometimes the green screen would be buggy, and I found that to be more distracting than if you could just, like, see their room, which I like is a privacy thing. Some people don't want people to see their rooms, which is fine. Whereas Mice and Murder, everyone had, like, a little setup with, like, a backdrop that I thought was a little bit better. And also, Brennan was in the studio, I think, instead of being at his house. So I think Mice and Murder feels the least like it was, you know, shot remotely. But they're all very good. They're all fun. Unsleeping City Season 2, I mean, is a very good Murph season. Murph's character is very good. Okay, so I just have Steeler Rollias. I feel like Steeler Rollias, just something weird should happen. When the I keep saying pirate, but they're not pirates. When the sailors, oh my gosh, Murph's character is so good in Unsleeping City Season 2. When the sailors throw Steeler Rollias's body overboard, it disappears in midair into I'm just imagining butterflies. It, like, disappears in, like, a bunch of butterflies. Or what about, like, a flock of birds? It disappears in midair. Replaced by a flock of crows who fly away in a scatter of feathers and caws. There we go. That's fine. It's not my best work. Okay. I do have to still come up with... Okay, let me do this. I think I'm going to do that off stream, though. Write Jazz Brambles eulogy. I do still need to come up with what happens if the ship goes down without the players. I don't even know. I can't even think about it, to be honest, which is a bad sign, but I also think, I mean, I've been streaming for almost 3 hours and I've been, like, doing creative stuff the whole time, so I think maybe I'm just hitting a bit of a creative wall. Maybe I should wrap up stream, because usually my, like, righty streams don't even go this long. They're usually 2 hours. So I'm gonna take a break, and by that I mean I'm gonna wrap up stream. Let me see who's live, though, if there's anybody I can raid. Ooh, let's raid Goblin, because they're live right now, and they're always a good raid. Cool. Okay, so we're raiding Goblin, who we love. They're playing Elden Ring right now, which is fun. Have they been playing Elden Ring on stream? I've missed a bunch of their streams, so maybe. If you are not a subscriber, you can copy and paste that message. If you are a subscriber, you can copy and paste this message, which I should do. And I will see you next on Wednesday, with who knows what. I don't know what I'm going to do. Wednesday, and then Thursday, probably Minecraft. And then next Saturday, a week from today, I'll be playing OK Cryptid with Mila and Sierra and Melanie. So you have that to look forward to. I hope everyone has a wonderful night, and I'll see you over in Goblin's stream. Goodbye.